Ogres are one of, if not the weakest faction currently in the game, at least regarding domination mode. They are, sadly, just kind of being overlooked by CA right now. CA did two things when they launched Immortal Empires. They reduced Monstrous Infantry's capture weight, and they reduced the expendable units capture weight. Now, Ogres happen to have only those. There's literally not a single unit in their roster that is not either expendable or monstrous. So their capture weight really does suck. And I think this has kind of plummeted them super low. They're down there with the dwarves, maybe even worse than them, at least when it comes to domination, because they can't cap objectives. They can't hold objectives, and it is just so bad. It feels terrible. So this replay is me against my friend, Undead Lord Monroe. He is playing as the Lizardmen. I have taken the Ogres. I'm going to see... I enjoy the Ogres, and I feel like I'm pretty good at them. So I'm going to see if I can actually still contend with them with the current patch, and we're going to find out here at this replay. I've got the Powder Guts with me. I thought they'd be super essential, at least to sniping out something like Krokgar, for example, or a big Dino. Then I've got a couple Ogre Bulls, Nobblar Trappers, and Lead Belchers. Lead Belchers, again, same kind of thought. I mainly have them for the anti-infantry. They're not actually anti-infantry, but they really do absolutely annihilate infantry units. So that's kind of what they're here for. Looks like we got some Mournfang engaging on Krokgar here. On the side of the Lizardmen, we've got Star Chamber Guardians, and then I think a bunch of Saurus Spears. Smart pick, especially when you're going up against the Ogres. You really don't need Saurus Warriors, because Nobblar Chaff isn't going to harm them ever. So everything you're versing is monstrous, so grab those for sure. A couple Chameleon Stalkers over here at point 3, just to take that point, ambush anything that tries to. And then some Skinks, Krokgar, and we have Clossodon Hunters. These are anti-large ROR variant of the Riperdactyls. Clossodon Hunters are probably one of my favorite ROR. They used to be, at least in Warhammer 2, they probably were my favorite ROR. But Warhammer 3's brought not only new ROR into the game, but new factions, and meta's kind of shifted. So I wouldn't say that they're my 100% favorite currently, but as you can see, they absolutely are putting a hurt down on these Gorgers and Mournfang Cav. So Lead Belchers are shooting in. I've been able to take point 1 and point 2. Looks like we got, Hand of the Gods coming out of Krokgar. Point 3 should have been taken by my opponent, but it looks like these Chameleon Stalkers were just sitting there for the moment, which is lucky for me. I'm going to be able to get on top of that, and this is really, really important for me. As you can see, I am already losing the capture weight here. I've got Powder Guts, 4 units, essentially, if you include my Lord, against the 3 infantry, and they are not capping. I'm losing, and I'm losing this point pretty quickly. I'm pretty sure just 2 of these Saurus Warriors would be taking this point from me, so Ogres really don't have the capture weight for this. It just sucks. So, point 2, not going my way. But I was able to, I think, get a hold of it originally, so I'm still getting points for it, so that is handy. Point 3, as you can see, it is Nobblars versus Ogre Bulls, and they have captured that point so easily. So, yeah, these Gorgers are coming in. They should be able to hopefully clean up those Stalkers. I'm not going to take the point from them, but at least I can try and wipe them off of that point. Point 1, I have comfortably taken. I've got these Mournfang here and a couple of Gorgers. I've been able to kind of sweep what my opponent had, and I have been able to secure point 1. However, point 2 and 3 have both been lost, and that is kind of just a symptom of Ogre's super-duper low capture weight. I mean, it's debatable on both of these if the Ogres had better capture weight, whether or not they'd be taking it or not, but either way, we're going to be focusing on the engagements more. You can't really see the, not so much balance of power, but army value, sadly. I should probably get the mod that enables that. So we can't really see the army value here, but that's kind of my win condition. If I can get the army value, I can be able to take this. However, as you can see, these Clossodon Hunters, absolutely insane value. They basically just one-shot Scrag. He was gone in seconds. I wasn't even looking at that. So he got absolutely annihilated. That is my magic off the field. And he had the, what is it? Cauldron of the Great Maw. Looks like he had it up to 23 intensity. That's for the Gorgers that I am summoning in, quite a few of them. He's probably not the best Ogre Lord, but definitely has a niche application. And I think Gorgers are definitely a pretty good unit to have, especially when it comes in scenarios like this. This ogre, or sorry, ogre, this Gorger unit here is against 4 infantry models, but they're gonna pretty much be able to clean up all of these guys. I mean, I'll have some reinforcements coming in to help them, but just watch that fight unfold. So Krokkar's coming in to get these lead belchers. He's been taking in a ton of fire from not only the lead belchers, but also these powder guts over here. Clossodon hunters look like they're finally gonna be routing, which is good for me. And as you can see, I almost am taking the weight back. I have 2 Ogre Bull units in here. I guess, okay, so the Saurus Warrior is not routing yet. But for a moment there's the capture weight in my favor. I think it's because, yeah, I got a bunch of Saber-Tusk and Ogre Bulls coming back onto the point. So this is enough to outcap, just barely, these 2 super weak Lizardmen infantry models. So I'm finally maybe taking back point 2, which is super crucial because my opponent's catching up on points, and if I don't get a really good lead on points, it's going to be very hard for me to hold and win this game. Wow, looks like we got some skinks way back there in my back line. As you can see over here, these Gorgers haven't got a ton of value, but they've got a ton of kills. 100 kills, they've basically wiped out half of those infantry models all by themselves. But points still in my opponent's hands. Luckily, I have point 1 pretty uncontested. It looks like some skink cohort are coming around to change that fact, as well as some Cold One Spear Riders. Krokkar's routed off. I brought some Saber-Tusk to hopefully bring him down, but they've gotten caught by this Revivification Crystal and more Temple Guards who are going to just absolutely shred them. Luckily, I've been able to get point 2 back. It looks like we have a Manticore summon. Skink Priest. I believe that Manticore is going to be coming down in for these lead belchers here. Bring in some Ogre Bulls. I really want to try and take point 3. So these Gorgers finally died, but I have another Gorger summon coming up. They're going to be able to easily wreck what's left on this point and then start capping it because everything will be gone. There won't be any contesting capture weight. So that's really, really good for me. However, over here on this side, my Noblar Trappers have been routed off, and I'm losing point 1. It's just so difficult. Look at that. They come right in. I've got so many infantry units, monstrous infantry units that were sitting on that point, but that single Temple Guard unit and these 2 monsters are already starting to capture it back. It is so hard to keep capture weight as the Ogres. I'm able to get this point over here just because the Gorgers have routed literally everything. So there's no contest there. Looks like the Feral Manticore's coming down for these lead belchers. Yep, Ogre Bulls to try and help them. I do have some powder guts still there. They're going to try and light up Krokkar, but point 2 already gone. It's basically my opponent's instantly. We're keeping it neck and neck with victory points, but the fact that I've lost all 3 points now, am I gaining any? I'm not gaining any victory tickets. Is very, very bad as the Ogre player. I just do not have capture weight to hold these points. So it's about to get really, really tough. I'm serving up a bunch of Noblar Trappers, some Saber-Tusk to hopefully get rid of these Cold One Spear Cav, and then these 2 Noblar units should be able to deal with the Skink cohort. So hopefully I can contest and take point 1 back. That's the goal there. Point 2, not quite abandoned yet. I'm bringing in Gorgers to try and keep these units in place while my shooting tries to take them down. The Clossodon Hunters have been resummoned. They're getting absolutely crazy value, just wiping the floor with those lead belchers. Gorgers are about to sacrifice themselves to try and keep the other lead belcher unit alive. I am taking point 3, which was happening slowly but surely, so we're about to get it. Just look at that. Look how slow this 1 unit of full HP Bulls is taking this point. This should be mine. I've routed everything off for so long, and only now. That's just ridiculous. We did finally get a point, though. We're going to start accruing some more victory tickets whenever it... There we go. Man, that took so long. So we're back on the board. But this is still pretty problematic. Krokkar has been shot off. He is shattered, so he's no longer going to be an issue. This Clossodon, or not Clossodon, sorry. Bastillodon Revivification Crystal is going to be an issue, as well as these Clossodon Hunters. They counter... These are a crazy good pick into Ogres. They counter basically everything. They'll munch on Noblars, no problem, and then they're anti-large monsters. They'll just completely Shrek all of these Ogre units, so... Luckily, I do have enough of a numbers advantage here. They're going to get overwhelmed. But a Manticore summon is coming in, so that's going to make things even more problematic. It looks like the Skink cohort just got completely forgotten back here. This is pretty useful for me. This is the only reason I'm keeping point 3. If these 2 were coming back, these Gorgers would have to kill them. They wouldn't have the capture weight. Take that back. So I'm getting really, really lucky here. I've got these 2 points. It looks like this one's almost there. Haven't quite captured it, but I'm about to. Just sheer weight of numbers there. We now have... Wow, did it... Yeah, okay, so we got point 1, that's great. Man, there's Temple Guard back here, dang! Richard must have been tired today. No wonder this game is as close as it gets. That's kind of funny. All right, Ogre Bulls fighting the Bastillodon. The Bastillodon has 140 armor, and the Ogre Bulls do not have a lot of armor piercing, so this really isn't going to go their way, especially as the Chameleon Stalkers engage. Point 2 is still pretty much a lost cause. Unluckily for me, these Gorgers are engaging with Saurus Spears, who are probably going to win this engagement, at least long-term for sure. And point 3 is not going to be mine for too much longer unless I can get some more units summoned over. Is that the... Oh, that's just Pterodon Riders. Okay. So we're chilling there. So on this side, I do have point 1, safely secure. I'm going to try and find a way to get on point 2 here. I've got Iron Guts. They're actually pretty dang good at taking down single monster entities. So this is going to be really good to get rid of the Bastillodon. They have armor piercing, really high armor piercing values, and these Chameleon Stalkers are not going to be able to hold their ground. As you can see, they're routing off, and now, at a moment there, that half of that Chameleon Stalker was enough to outweigh the full HP Iron Guts. It's just the capture weight. It's so problematic. Luckily for me, my opponent has got a lot of routing units, and I'm able to try and take these points back. And luckily, there's a bunch of them sitting out on the sides that are keeping me in a safe space as well. So it looks like the Saurus Spears are finally getting on the point. I am going to be losing point 3 here pretty soon. These Noblars I'm summoning are not going to be able to contest Saurus Spears. Not in the slightest, unless I get something else coming over. Ooh, Gorgers, as I say it. So that might be able to help, though the previous Gorger unit only got them down to half HP, so theoretically, they should be able to finish them off, so that could work out for me, especially with the Noblars coming in. My shooting has been able to kill most of the big threats here on this side. These Lead Belchers are going to be really good value shooting into these Saurus Spears. As you can see, the Saurus Spears are taking a bunch of damage, and so this is going to make the fight much easier for me to try and keep a hold of point 2 there. Skink Cohort coming in, watch this. Capture weight, instantly. There's 2 almost full HP Noblars there. Instantly goes in my opponent's favor. I do have some Saber-Tusk Pack coming over. I think that should put it back in my favor. So, we are keeping a hold of point 1. We're going to speed things along here. It's just going to be a bunch of scraps of units coming in. And luckily, it appears we've been able to keep a hold of point 3, point 1, and point 2. All of it has been claimed. Nearly 1,000 tickets each here, but I am pulling in ahead. Some Pterodons just to get in the way of these Lead Belchers. They have run out of ammo, though, so it's probably not worth it to sacrifice the Pterodons there. And I am able to just try and keep my opponent away from the capture point. The moment he gets infantry on that capture point, I start losing it. It's just such a problem. So luckily for me, I do believe we're going to just keep speeding this along. We're able to take the triple cap and hold it from this point on. At this point, I'm just keeping all of his units off the points. I'm using the Ogre speed to keep them from even getting on the points. Even right here, they're going to get on point 2. They're going to start taking that out. These Scourgers get absolutely wrecked so quickly. But, sorry, point 2 going to my opponent is not enough. He's got a couple things coming over here to point 1 as well. But I've just got enough victory tickets, and that is the victory. So, Ogres still do have a way to win, and I still think that they can be played well and win in certainly some matchups. But overall, the capture weight disadvantage they have is just hurting them quite a bit. They still got teeth. They can still pull out a victory here and there, but I don't think Ogres are nearly as good as they were before this patch. That much is for sure. So I'd like them to get some more capture weight. Regardless, that was a pretty good one. It looks like Scrag did get some good value there. The Powder Guts got plenty of value, as well as my Mournfang Cav. And then the rest of this kind of is so much paid for. Yeah, that more than paid for itself. All these units are kind of just paying for themselves. I do think a lot of them were resummoned, so it's kind of hard to gauge how much value was actually accrued or how much they were actually worth it. On this side, you can see plenty of value coming out of the ways of all these source. Well, I guess just this one right here. That one got annihilated. All of the infantry for Lizardmen definitely paying dividends. Wow. Colossadon Hunters, 5k value, essentially. Nuts. Absolute must-take against Ogres. They are going to shred everything. Temple Guard also super, super duper good. So, either way, that is this replay for this week. I will hopefully be able to get some more in the coming weeks, but stuff is getting busier and busier for my life, so we'll see how many more videos I can get coming out. Either way, I hope you enjoyed watching this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later.